Hello everyone, it's Julie from Camelia Crafts Designs. Welcome and welcome back. I'm here today with a little project. I will be finishing this today and putting as many videos. I'm going to do it in 2 videos, not as many. It's going to be done in 2. Right, I've made a prototype so you can see what we're making before we start, and it's just a little Edith Holden junk journal made from 2 of these paper bags. I got this idea when I was watching someone make one of those. In fact, I wasn't just watching them, I started making one. One of those expanding pockets, and I thought that could be a junk journal turned that way, so I've done one. So here we go. It's got the button, well, they call it a button string closure, but it's actually strings, eyelets and cardboard. So it opens like that. I haven't completely finished this because I'm going to give you a chance to tell me what you want me to do. Haha. So I've done the cover. I've matted the outside with pages from Edith Holden. Well, that all did come from one double spread, and I love that. It's the dog roses. Absolutely love it. And the inside I'm going to put and some kind of pocket. One of them, I think I'm going to make a pocket with a bit that's cut off that other bag. Then we used 2 entire paper bags making this journal. And I've just put tea-dyed paper inside. I put my big girl pants on, and I used my craft knife and ruler to cut the pages to size. They're just slightly smaller than A5 folded in half. So I've basically used 5 sheets of A4 paper, which is your equivalent to letter size, you ladies in the US. Cut those in half, folded them, and then trimmed them to fit. So I like this as well. The way I've attached the 2 bags, it gives you 4 bags thickness in that centre part there where your spine is, so you don't have to reinforce the spine with anything else. The bags do it for you. So let's crack on and I'll show you how I made it. You may already know this method, you may not, but I'll explain it as though you don't know at all. Right, I'm going to give you the measurements, and I will put all measurements down in the description box below. I'm going to be quite organised with this one. So I've got these little paper bags here. I got these off Amazon. These were £6.99 for a pack of 100. That's a lot of bags. I'll be using them for a while, but I have used some before. And this measurement is 7 inches. I don't know what measurement it actually says the bag is. Is it like, because that's how you would measure it, isn't it? But anyway, closed, it's 7 inches tall and 3.5 inches wide. But obviously that's not the size of the journal, so this is what I'm going to do to it. Open the bag up. We just need one for now, like so, and we're going to flatten it out. I think because you have more paper bags in the US, you probably already know this method. We don't tend to have a lot of this type of paper bag in the UK. I don't know why. We just prefer plastic. Things are moving towards paper. Right, we've got to get this bit here flat, and I have to use my ruler to help me. So we're just popping that corner out. When I did the last one, it went perfectly for me. I then did another one and it misbehaved like this one, so when it went perfect, I think it must have been an anomaly. Come on, you know you want to do it. That's it. So we've got one-ish done, another one's-ish done. Just manipulate it. If in doubt, just flatten it. We're going to cover it with paper. So we now have the paper bag flattened out like so. Right, the other paper bag, I'm going to take the scissors to it straight away, and I'm going to cut along there. If you saw the video I and many others have done on the little fold out pockets from a paper bag bottom, you do it just like that. There we go. So you can then use that to make a little fold out embellishment. Right, but this is the bit I want for now. So I'm going to open that one out just like we did the other. Like so. Then I'm going to need some glue. I'm going to use, pardon me, my Anita's tacky glue. I have just had my lunch. I'm so sorry about that. Right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these two flaps together. Come on, glue. Please work. There you go. That's it. And then leave that one to dry. And at the other place I'm going to glue is here. I'm going to glue that flap down. This will then be covered with paper at some point anyway. Ooh. So that's that. Then I'm just going to pop that under my mat while I glue the other piece. I always like to pop things under my mat to lay flat while the glue sets. I'm going to grab my trimmer because, yeah, I've cut that off with scissors and it's not going to be perfectly straight. So I'm just going to pop that in. I've took, as you can, that's how much I've took off. An absolute sliver just to straighten it. And what I'm going to do now is glue this end just like we did the other. So up until yet, no measuring really. And that. There we go. So that's both those stuck. Now, let's take that back out from under my mat. That should be down. This is where we get the reinforced bit for the spine. I'm going to take both the rough edges, you know, yeah, factory cut edges, and I'm going to overlap that and glue it. Yep. So I've took to this new method of deciding where to glue. I just want, it's about 1/4 inch I'm going to overlap, maybe 3/8. Doesn't really matter. All it will do is just affect the size of your, it'll affect the size of your journal slightly, but not really enough to matter. And I'm going to put my glue on. And I'm getting it in a straight line now, having that T-ruler there. I think I would go as far as to say a T-ruler is one of my crafting essentials. I've seen lots of people do these crafting essential videos, and you know, I might jump on that bandwagon because it's interesting that they have different crafting essentials to me. Right, I'm going to leave my T-ruler there. It also helped me line this up straight. And I'm going to pop that bag on. Yeah, I'm using Edget ruler to line that up. If I'm lining up bigger things, I tend to get my scoreboard out and use the edge of that. Don't worry if you get a little bit of glue, it rubs off. And then I'll check I've not moved it well. I have. I thought I just felt that move while I was rubbing glue off. So I'm just going to straighten it back up. And I'm happy with that. Now, if you the ladies in the UK will know exactly what's going to happen now. You US ladies may have heard us UK ladies going about it. I'm going to have a Blue Peter moment. When I get this pin back in glue, I am. Go on, gotcha. So here's one I prepared earlier. It's exactly the same. It's just that I don't want to go bending that until this glue has had time to dry properly. And I don't want to use fabric tack because I find that's too thick and it makes the spine too thick and chunky. So here's one I prepared earlier. Everything's all glued. Oh, one more bit to glue. I forgot. Just that bit there. Just because it's annoying. It's going to get covered up with paper, so it doesn't really matter, but things like that annoy me. There we go. That's it. So we'll put that one away to dry. I'm going to put it under my mat. Oh, I've just had a crafter lunch. Well, it weren't a crafter lunch. I've knocked my tablet over. Right, so there we go. So now we need to fold it. So we're going to fold, bring the original back in. You can see what we're doing. I'm going to fold that there because that's then going to then be the flap. I'm bringing it slightly over, so I'm not folding dead on where that crease is from the bottom bit. I'm going out of shot here, aren't I? I just want it a little bit slightly further over. So we've got a little bit more room there, so it will fold nice and easy. Then I'm going to fold this over. I need to turn it round, sorry. And I want it to crease in between those two. If you find it easier, get your scoreboard and score a line. In fact, I'll do it. I did this on the first one I did, but then when I made the full prototype, I didn't. So, we know we've cut that straight. So, it's about there. So, that's that line there. Now, your bag might not be cut exactly the same as mine, so I'm not giving you a measurement for this. You don't need one. I'm going to do it on that side, and then again on that side. Mine happens to be on the A6 line, which is 4.5. From that edge, but that other side is a little bit less. So I'm going to grab a different ruler here, just to help me fold this up now. I find it easier to fold a straight line up against a ruler. So I'm just pushing it up. There we go. So that is what's going to be our spine on the journal. We're folding 4 thicknesses of the bag, that's why it really needed to go some. Now, can you see that's didn't tuck right? That's why I said that measurement doesn't matter too much, because we're going to cut that down a little bit. I want it, we'll put it where it's going to go. I want it not to buckle up and pucker like that. Can you see that one? It fits in nicely, no buckling or puckering. So I'm going to grab my trimmer once more, and I'm just going to take a sliver off here. In fact, I'm not. I'm going to cut it down to 4.25 because I know that's what I did on the other one. So from your crease line for your spine, cut that down to make that piece 4.25 wide. And then it should fit in nicely. Oh, when we've got it folded straight, that is. There we go. So that is the bones of the journal. Yeah. Right, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some papers for the front, and I'm going to bring out a nifty new tool I've got. Now, I would not have said this tool was an essential for junk journaling, and I'll be quite honest and upfront with you. I was contacted by a company who asked me if I would, if they could send me one, and would I do them an honest Amazon review? And I'm like, don't know what I'm going to use that for. I suppose I might use it for a bit of embossing. And I thought, oh, my daughter will love it for drawing, because that's what they're good for. And it's one of these. It's a light pad. So yeah, having said that, I'm like, yeah, I'm not over the moon with having a light pad, but yeah, I'll have something free to do here in a review. I haven't done the review yet, because they also wanted me to use it for a while to give an honest review. I'm dead chuffed with it, because it's got a use that I think it's amazing. I'm not trying to sell you a light pad, I'm just, this is how I've done that journal. You know, I've lined and framed the exact parts of the page I want to use. Right, I've already chosen the page I want to use for this journal, and it's this one. I think it's going to work. I don't know, because I've not tried it on this yet. I hope this doesn't blind you. Watch. It's a light pad. Look at that. Now this is the amazing bit. This is the amazing bit. I'm going to put that page on top, and can you see? I can see exactly which bit of my page is going to be on this journal. And you know what will make it even better? Putting it way around that I want it. Yeah, so yeah, if I got it right way around that I want it, that's the way I need it, that way. Phew. Right, so that's going to be the front page. Knocking stuff about again. knocking stuff about. I'll get this out and show you. So yeah, so that's that front page, that's the back, and that's the flap. So I can then place my page on here, voila, and I can see where it's going to be, and it's like, wowzer. And what I'm thinking is, I want the daisy and the butterfly on the front page, and then I want to cut that bit and put it on flap, but I'm not sure it's going to fit. So here's where just a little smidgen of measuring is going to come in. I've cut that to 4 1/4, and I want my mat with just 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So I'm going to cut the mat to 4 inches. So I know it wants to be 4 inches wide. So I'm going to grab my little... Have I put this on top of my dinky ruler? Have I lost it already? I'm so giddy about this light pad, because I never in a million years thought it would be this handy. See, I'll put it away, that's why I can't find it. This handy for this job. So, no more holding it up and looking at window, which is fine in day, but at night that doesn't work, does it? Also, not everyone's crafting in front of a window. So, first of all, I'm going to see where my crease is there. And I'm going to, again, use my T-ruler, because yeah, I can see through, but I can't see where that crease is. So I'm going to put my T-ruler there up to the crease. So now I'm good to go. And I'm not going to get the top daisy and the butterfly if I start at bottom at page, am I? So let's see what it's going to look like if, and this time I'm going to put my T-ruler at top, because I've totally covered the bottom of that page up there. Right. And I could get that butterfly, that daisy, and that. Yes. That's what I want. And then hopefully that bit will be wide enough to go on the flap. Is it going to be wide enough? Let's measure the flap. Measure a bit of paper for the flap. It is 2 1/8, so I'm going to be left with 2 1/8. I am, yeah. So this is going to be perfect. So place it exactly where I want it. I want both daisies on, that on, and that at the top. Oh, this is lovely. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a pencil mark there, and I'm going to go in about 1/8 of an inch, and I'm going to mark there. That's where I want to cut that front piece. Yeah. So before I do anything else, I'm just going to turn that pad off. And yeah, I've been putting my chopper on it to use it, mate. It comes with like a protective film, and I've left that on knowing that I'm going to be abusing it. No, I'm not. Right. So, yeah, that's going to get me daisy in. It's, yeah. And I'm going to chop. It's gone. So, we now know this front bit wants to be 4 1/4. Wait, 4? No, 4 wide, because the cover's 4 1/4. So, I'll measure this. And I'll cut. That's brilliant. Yeah, so I've got the height. Then I'm just going to check it again on my light pad. I can see me using this loads, and it's so light. It's like, it weighs nothing. I'm sure it weighs less than my phone. Definitely weighs less than my tablet. Turn it on. Magic. So yeah, we've got that width. Lovely. Don't stick it under there, woman. And I want that on. That on. So yeah, I want that as near top as I can. So I'll grab my pencil again. I was showing this to Tanya at Tatty Treasure on WhatsApp, and she's like, can't wait to see your video now. She thinks she might need one. I'm just going to mark it there. Turn that off now. It is a bit bright. Mind you, having said that, I have migraines and it's not really bothering me. And the height we need this is going to be, I can remember it, but I just want to check. I think this is 6 wide now. Yeah, it's 5 7/8 wide. So I'm going to cut this at, I'll cut it at 5 and just smidgen under 5 3/4. Just be aware that these bags don't all measure exactly the same. Your bags might, and if your bag's a totally different size, it's not going to measure the same, is it? So, what did I say to cut it at? 5 1/2 for it? No, I said to cut it at just under 5 3/4. Nearly made a huge mistake there. So, yeah, I've done that a lot slower than I would do now doing it on my own. But I think what it does is it lets you frame the perfect part of anything. I think I might have cut that a bit narrow. But no fuss, I'm going to take another sliver off there. So what I've done is I've gone on the last one I made, and I've obviously made this front a little bit longer. So that's better. So that's going to be my front. Loving it. Now, where's the piece I want to use on the flap? I'm right good at losing stuff. Well, that it? Yeah, that's it. So, and it needs to go that way on the flap. So I'm going to turn that on again. And I want to get, it doesn't matter if it lines up that way. So we're going to get that bit of foliage on and the butterfly. I want to either get the number or miss it. I don't want a bit and not. And because I've got such a plain bit there, I could put another butterfly on there. I don't want it so low down that the button's going to cover the butterfly. So I'm going to pop him there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a dot at each of the 4 corners. Where's the crease? It's about there. 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 And I'll just curl this one up to check where it creases. It is there. So, turn that off again. I'm going to cut this straight to start off with. In fact, another little thing it does, watch this. If I put it back on, I have my trimmer on it, I can see exactly when I've got my pencil mark on edge at blade. So, yikes, that were good. I'm loving it. And I'm going to trim that there because I can see the pencil mark exactly again. Right, then all I need to trim off is the corners, and I'll just make sure that is correct. It's a bit long. Yeah, I trimmed the corners exactly. I trimmed the edges exactly. I now need to trim a bit off, don't I? I need to take it down to the just under 5 3/4. Yeah. And then I'm going to mark where I need to chop the corners off. So that's that. That's that. I'm going to draw a line exactly along where that is, and I'm going to cut 1/8 of an inch inside that. Do you follow me? Yeah. And yeah, look at this. I can see. Oh, look at that. I'm way too giddy about this, aren't I? So, if you do fancy one, I have got it linked on my Amazon Associates, and it has got 35% off at the moment. But I am by no means wanting to sell it yet. You make your own mind up. Well, if you've watched me for a while, you know I won't recommend something I don't like. And look how perfectly that fits now. I wouldn't have got that so neat with all them different cuts. But maybe you're not such a perfectionist as me, and this might be a waste of money for you. Yeah, I do get to be a bit of a perfectionist at times. Right. Oh, I've not cut a back piece. I've not cut a back piece. Right, we know this one's not going to follow on continuously like the other did, because I just wanted to use those two. Look at that. You'll now be able to, you can't see the daisies, but you can see that butterfly. And you can see that butterfly. I like it. And then when you open it up, that's when you see the daisies. That worked out really well. I think I may just put some text on back of this one? I don't know. No, it needs a picture, doesn't it? What we got on here? Will that look well with it? That's a bit for the other book. Let's have a look. No, it's too green and cabbagey, isn't it? If cabbage is even a word. Is cabbagey a word? I haven't got a clue. Right, I'm just going to grab the other Edith Holden pages that I took out of the book that I've been working with. Oh, I think this might do better. Yeah, we need that, don't we? So, do you know what? I'm going to get that light thing back out. Because I want to frame this one exactly for the back. So, yeah. Oh, come here. I've got wire tangled around my granny. Grab her. Stop grabbing it, Granny. Right. So this is the back page, isn't it? Turn your light on again, missus. So which bit do we want? I'm going to measure. Look, it's got measurements on. See, you can see how new this is to me. So it starts at 10 and ends at 21.5 centimetres. So then I can see, that's where my creases are instead of measuring it with a tear ruler. Silly woman. I wish it had those at bottom though as well. It doesn't. Found a flaw in it. That's what I want. I'm going to leave the Edith Holden number on this piece as well. Will it get that? It'll miss the purple off. So if I move over slightly, yeah. So I want to cut it there, and the length wants to be, should I cut a bit off top? Yes, if I cut a bit off the top, I'll be able to get the whole purple in. So if I cut it there, turn that off, I'll be able to see these marks without light. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to tear this page in half, because if I cut down there first, I'm going to lose that mark, aren't I? There we go. Use that for something else now. So yeah, if I cut there, yeah, we're going to get the whole of that purple one in. Then I need to cut there. So I've not really used measurements, have I? We're using that light board. Yeah, 4 1/4, just over. It's ended up being. We've not got the purple one in. Do I cut some more off there? I'm going to cut a smidgen more off there. Then we'll get a little bit of the purple flower in. Yeah. Do you know what? I'm going to cut it wide and see. I'm going to cut this wide and have another look at it. Because I didn't get everything in that I wanted, did I? The middle bit is slightly wider than the front. I'll miss the number if I have the purple flower in. But I think I want the purple flower in. Rather than just have a bit of it, I want it all in like that. And I'm going to put my light on. Shift that. Yeah, I'm going to cut inside the number. I'm going to cut it there. Yeah. So it's a good job of marking pencil now. I've changed my mind into it. That's it. There we go. And I do need to cut some off the top. So we know it's just under 6 inch, so we want it just under 5 3/4. Yeah, that's lovely, that. So yeah, I mean, you might think it's a faff using that light board. It's definitely quicker to use than it is to tell you how I'm using it. So, right, it's time to do some inking and then do some sewing. So that one goes there, that one goes there, and that one goes there. Yeah, although that didn't come from one continuous page, I love what we've ended up with. Yeah, I'm giddy. So I'm using Distress Oxide in Walnut Stain, which you know is my favourite one, and I've sewn around the edge in a zigzag stitch, and it's just caught the edge of the paper. Yeah, it's not a big zigzag, I just wanted it to do that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to pause, finish the inking, sew these front pieces on, and then we'll come back and do the button string closure. You could mat the inside first, but sometimes when I do that, I find you line the stitching up really nicely on the paper on one side, and then it can look odd on the other side. So what I prefer to do is stitch around the paper and then glue it on the inside. I think it just looks a bit neater, and it is actually a bit easier. So I've been just waffled while doing all that inking. I will now do my stitching, and when I'm come back, you will see it looking like that minus the buttons, and I'll show you how to do the buttons. If you know how to do the buttons, you don't need to come back. So yeah, 2 ticks. And I'm back. I stopped video instead of pausing it like a numpty. Right, it's all sewn, so there it is. I did forget to tell you one, well, not mega important thing. I think you'd have thought of it for yourself. I just stuck those down with glue stick before I sewed them. Yeah, I only use glue stick when I'm going to sew around the edges. So I've just gone around the edge with zigzag stitch. So that is now the journal cover, and I think you'll agree it's looking as cute as that one. Yeah, I don't think I do need an extra butterfly. I think the way those two are together, we've got some plain and some plain there, and I just love how you opened that up to see the daisies. So what we're going to do now is put the button string closure on. Yeah, I made these using some little circles of cardboard, some text from the book page, Edith Holden book page, and some little brads. Not brads, rivets. I always call them brads when they're not. Brads are the ones that don't have a hole in, aren't they? And I'm using these. Dull gold, as I call them. That's what I call bright shiny gold. Yeah. Dull gold. Right. I've got an offcut of brown craft card, and I've got an offcut from the book that's got some text that I probably won't use all of. So I've got my 1-inch circle punch, and this circle punch, which I couldn't really tell you the size of, but I'll punch a couple now and measure them for you. It's an X-cut circle punch. I don't know if you get those in US, and I don't think it comes out at an exact size. It is. It's 1.5 centimetre, which is like, yeah, it's not an exact size in inches. It's 5/8 of an inch, 5/8. Yeah, so we will need those. And then we'll need 2 craft circles in 1 inch. Well, or whatever size you're doing them in. This is the size I'm doing them in, so that's what I'm doing. I then need 2 book page circles. That's 1, and that's 2. I'm going to ink around the book page ones again with my Distress Oxide Walnut stain. Oh, I need more of those circles than 2. I need 6 altogether. So we've done 2. That's 3, 4, 5, 6. And you know what I'm like for losing stuff, so I've done a couple extra. I'm terrible for losing stuff. Right, just move that to where we'll play with circles. Right, yeah, my ink lid's on. We've inked the ones we need to ink. Now I want to glue the ink ones to the 1-inch circles. I'm going to use my Anita's tacky glue. Doesn't matter whether you put the glue to the craft card or to the paper, as long as you get it on one. That's that. And it will squeeze to the edges. Just wipe off any excess. That's that. That's one. Stick him under the corner of my mat to stay flat. It does dry pretty quick, this tacky glue. Not as quick as the art glitter, but as I keep going on, it's so much cheaper. I can wait an extra minute to save all that money. No, I'm not going to be one of these people who dies and leaves $1 million to cats, so. Right, so they're both under there drying. Right, now all these what I've just cut out all need a hole punching in the middle. Yeah, I know there's a method where you punch the little hole and then use your punch to go round. This punch is really bad at doing that. It's got such a deep plate on the bottom, it casts a shadow, and I can never get it in the middle. So I do it like this. I'm going to grab a pen, and I'm just going to put a dot in the middle. Works for me. I think we're not looking for perfection. And I'm going to punch a hole with the 3/16 one. I'm using my handheld one because I find it easier. And I'm having to look away from the window to see that pen mark. So, yeah, I've lined it up. Oh, I punched it. I'm very jumpy. And my pencil pot fell over. And it's caused me to press on the bit what locks that so it won't come open. There we go. Oh, that one. Yeah, pencil pot. And I really need, I've put my big scissors in the pencil pot and they really don't fit. I've looked all over for those. If you noticed at the beginning of the video I was using different scissors because I'd lost my big Tim Holtz one. They were under my nose in a pencil pot. Right, so we've got all these little holes now. We're going to use some of those. Remember, all this time those two that I've glued are sticking together. I'm now going to come in and do the hole. Right, I line up from the side to do the hole, then I know I'm going to get it, yeah, on the same level horizontally. Right, before I actually punch the hole, I'm going to put some circles on. This should be dry enough now. And decide how far apart they want to be. Punch a hole in them, this will be easier. To be honest, half at time now, because I've done so many of these, I just guesstimate it. And if it's wrong, it's wrong. But usually it's right. It's what you get used to doing, isn't it? So I'm going to punch that hole. Yeah, that's near enough middle to make me happy. Oh, I can't see. I saw the first one and not that. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll do that again with circles. There we go. And yeah, I like them there. And then I'm just going to draw around the holes. Yep. Then I'm going to bring my chomper in and I'm going to line it up. It doesn't matter if you go from that end or that end, as long as it's the same. There it is. You want it on the 3/16, you want the big hole. And I'm using my little gauge to push again, straight, that's spot on. So when I punch this one now, I'm going to line that up the same and know that it will be spot on. And while I was doing that, I flung my rivets on the floor that I got out ready. So that's that. Right, now I need a couple of these dark circles. Yeah, they're what you get under your eyes, aren't they? A couple of these craft circles. And I'm going to put them on there. I just like to reinforce these bags when I'm sticking a brad through. Oh, even an eyelet. There we go. There's less chance for it pulling through then. And that's that. I mean, you can get the brads with the metal circles. Even then, I sometimes will still put a cardboard one on, you know, because they're quite sharp and they could still pull through. Depends how rough you are when you're opening and closing your journal, doesn't it? Right. The next thing, I want to put 2 little brown circles on each of these, because that will raise that up when it goes on front of your journal enough so that your string will fit behind it easily. I went a little bit over the top with glue there, didn't I? I don't think one of X-Men's going to come and try and pull it off. Oh, yeah, we've been watching X-Men films and Marvel films, and I'm not that keen on all these superhero films, to be honest, but we've got that Disney Plus. I've cancelled the... We have Now TV and we had the Movies Pass, and I've cancelled that and we've got Disney Plus instead. So kids have now got something different to watch. There's more on that they want to watch. To be quite honest, I haven't seen a film on that movies channel from Sky Cinema that I've wanted to watch for the last couple of months. So it was a big waste of money. I tend to like my TV dramas. Right, so that's 2 on that one. And 2 on that one. Just make sure I wiped off any excess because we don't want our string sticking to the back of the button. I'll just straighten that one up a bit. That's it. So there we have our 2 buttons that we're going to pop on. Right. I'll now get another eyelet out because I've flung one onto the floor like you do. I think Christ, these are getting lately. I don't want to be doing too much rivet flinging, eyelet flinging, whatever they're called. Right. Don't fasten it to that book because you've done that book, my sis. Bring this one. Right, so, yeah. I did do a separate tutorial on this, Cropadile. Because a few people said they'd have issues with it. So, now to set this eyelet, on the side you've got the letters and the numbers. Letters top, and numbers bottom. You can see number. Is it? Yeah, it's really hard to see. It looks like a little crease on metal, that, on plastic. That's number 1. So on the top we've got number 2. So we want number 2 facing, and what's that one? A. 2A or A2. That's what I find best to set these 3/16 of an inch eyelets. Move it to setting at the top. Don't leave it on hole. Golly gosh. And squeeze. There we have it. That's in nicely. Same thing with this one. And squeeze. There we go. So now we have our eyelets on, and I'm happy with those. Next job is to put some string on. I've got this, it's 2-ply twine. It does change thickness, it's a natural product. Now that first bit is really thick, so I'm just going to cut that off because I don't want that bit tied around my eyelet. And it's thick there as well. Wowzer, is this thick. I'm going to lose a length of this. I don't know whether it's because it were down to end as well. I need to open another pack. That's better. And I always tie mine to the flap. I think it's then out of the way when you're using your journal writing in it. It's not bulked up underneath. That's my reasoning. So I tie 2 knots. It's one of those things, if you were to buy one of these whether off me or someone else, and your string did come off, you can always put some more on. So I knot it twice, and then I'll snip that off flush with button, so there's still a little end left on. Yeah, it's quite thick, that twine. It's thicker than last pack, even though it's supposed to be the same. What's that all about? I will then wind it round a couple of times before I cut my twine off. That should do us. And I always leave a nice little tail. So there we have it. There's your journal cover. So it's exactly the same as this one. It just hasn't got any pages in it yet, which I'm going to do in the next video. I'm going to do the pages and I'm going to do the decorating on the inside. And when we've done, I'll have 2 cute little journals. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it useful. Don't forget, if you're interested in one of those light boards, if you click the link to my Amazon storefront below, it'll take you to it, and then I will get a small commission. If you buy anything off Amazon through that link, I'll get an even smaller commission. But yeah, if you do find it hard to choose which part of your paper you want to feature on a tag or a journal front, I found that invaluable. Yeah, really, I've found it handy, and it's going to be one of my go-to things now in my craft room. Wait till I try some embossing with it. That should be interesting. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back later today with part 2, putting in the pages and just decorating the inside covers. So thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye.